Like I went downstairs to go work out. I came back up. The door was latched. My fiance's inside. She wasn't answering. So after about a half hour, I decided to break it down. I see her now just on the floor with blood. Like she's not responding.
They want us to believe the initial police officers who showed up there that your daughter stabbed herself 20 times.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Gather round, all you seekers of the night. Welcome to Patrick's Star Corner.
Hey, what's up? My name is Patrick, and today I will be telling you about the case of Ellen Greenberg. Ellen Greenberg was a 27-year-old woman who was stabbed over 20 times in the chest, neck, and back. Authorities decided that Ellen had taken her own life. This seems to be part of a disturbing trend on this channel, but this might be the most outrageous one. So let's get right into it. So it was the winter of 2011, and 27-year-old Ellen Greenberg seemed to be at a really exciting time in her life. She was engaged with her boyfriend of 3 years, Sam Goldberg, a television producer for NBC. They seemed very much in love and very excited for their wedding, which was supposed to take place that August.
Ellen did eventually find someone that she loved, and they got engaged. His name was Samuel Goldberg. As a father, what can I say about a son-in-law? There's a term in golf called a son-in-law. A son-in-law is when I hit the ball into the rough, but I still can hit it far enough to get it on the green, so I feel it's something I can work with. When she got engaged, I was hoping she would be happy. I cannot tell you about my future son-in-law more that my daughter approved. My daughter loved her, and he seemed to be a nice person. She was excited about the wedding. We were going to have a big wedding at the Hershey Hotel, which is a landmark hotel here in central Pennsylvania. Very nice wedding it was going to be with a lot of people.
Just 4 days prior to her death, Ellen's friends and family received invitations to her wedding. Ellen and her fiancé were already living together at the Venice Loft Apartments in a 6-story unit with a small balcony. Ellen also had a job she loved. She really loved teaching first graders at Juanita Park Academy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ellen loved kids, so teaching seemed like a perfect fit for her. Ellen was really popular with the students. They all really loved her, and she loved them. She was always telling her friends about cute little things that they would say.
Teaching because she loved children. She had tried to do a speech pathology master's, but it wasn't for her. So she picked up her stuff, moved to Philadelphia, and got her teaching certificate, her specialty in reading, and she student taught in Philadelphia while we were still in Harrisburg.
Ellen was an only child and was very close with her father, Josh, and mother, Sandy. January 26th of 2011 seemed like a normal day. Ellen was calling her mom on the way to work, and it was tax season, so her mom was just giving her pointers on how to fill out her taxes properly, and they just had normal conversation.
What was the last thing you said to her? Oh, we went back and forth. We had a routine. She said, I love you. I said, I love you. And I know that that day, I love you more. So I was grateful for that.
That day, though, a huge blizzard hit Philadelphia, and it just kept getting worse and worse throughout the day. So Ellen's school had to let out early. So Ellen helped call all the kids' parents and get them rides home. Then Ellen herself left for the day. On her way home, Ellen stopped to fill the gas in her car all the way up and then went home. Her fiancé, Sam, was already home, so they were together till about 4:45, when Sam decided to go work out in the apartment complex gym. So Sam works out for 30 minutes, then comes back to find the apartment door is locked, but he can't unlock it with his key because it's locked from the inside with a swinging latch lock. Sam texts Ellen.
Hello? Open the door! What are you doing? I'm getting pissed. Hello? You better have an excuse. What the? You have no idea.
So eventually Sam goes down to the front desk security person and asks him if he can open the apartment door. The security guard says, no, it's against policy. So Sam goes back up to the apartment with the security guard, and Sam kicks down the door. When he does, he sees Ellen slumped over.
Hey, I need everything now. I just walked to my apartment. My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere.
What is the address?
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please come help now.
4601
Flat Rock Road.
Is this a house or apartment?
Oh no! Oh no! It's an apartment.
What apartment number?
Please hurry, please.
Where is she bleeding from?
I don't know. I can't tell.
No. So you have to calm yourself down in order to get you some help.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm looking at her right now. I can't see anything. There's nothing broken. She's bleeding. Ellie!
You don't know where she's bleeding from? Can't tell
Ellie!
where the blood's coming from?
I think her head. I think she hit her head, I think. But it's everywhere.
Okay,
it's everywhere.
Think she might have fallen? Do you know what happened?
She may have slipped. There's blood on the table. Her face is a little purple.
Okay, hold on for rescue for her. Stay on the phone.
Philadelphia Fire Department 842. What's the address? No,
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please hurry.
4601 Flat Rock?
Yes.
What's wrong?
I went downstairs to go work out. I came back up. The door was latched. My fiance's inside. She wasn't answering. So after about a half hour, I decided to break it down. I see her now just on the floor with blood. She's not responding.
Okay, is she breathing? Look at her chest. I need you to calm down, and I need you to look at her chest. It's really.
I really don't think she is.
Listen to me. Someone's on the way. Look at her chest. Is she flat on her back?
She's on her back. So I bring her.
Look at her chest and tell me if it's going up and down, up and down.
I don't see her moving.
Okay. Do you know how to do CPR?
I don't.
Okay, I can tell you what to do. Okay, until they get there. I want you to keep her flat on her.
God.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, okay.
Are you willing to do CPR with me over the phone until they get there?
I have to, right?
Okay, so get her flat on her back, bare her chest, okay? You want to rip her shirt off. Okay? Kneel down by her side.
Oh, my God. Ellie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir, because you
Okay, I'm trying not to. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper. Oh, my God. She stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell in a knife. Oh, no, her knife's sticking out.
Her what?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't touch it.
Okay, so I just let her here now? I mean, what do I do?
No, I mean, you can't. If the knife is in her chest, it's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Police, which operator?
277.
Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said 4601 Flat Rock, right?
Yes.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
Wait, so what?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I didn't take it out.
Was it her chest or what area?
It's in her chest. It looks like it's right in her heart.
Okay, someone's on the way out there. Okay, just get.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay,
how old is she?
She's 27.
27, and there's no sign of life at all.
No, please don't be. What?
Pinch her under her arm and tell me if she responds to pain.
Ellie. She's not. Her hands are still warm. I don't know what that means, but there's blood everywhere. I mean.
I know, but you can't, and the knife is still inside of her. How far? Can you see how far it went in?
It looks pretty deep.
Okay.
It looks it's a long knife.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch anything, okay?
I'm not touching anything. I can't believe this, though.
So wait, it was just you there with her?
We're the only ones here.
And she ran in the door, you said latched it shut?
No, I went downstairs to work out, and when I came back up, the door was latched.
Oh.
Like it was, it wasn't like it was, it was like locked from the inside, and I'm yelling. So I'm
was
yelling.
Your house broken into?
No.
So there's no sign of a break-in?
No sign of a break-in at all. I mean, there will be when you get here because I had to break the latch, but to get in.
Okay, 4601 Flat Rock, and this is a house, right?
It's an apartment. Flat Rock apartment.
Okay, that'll help.
Oh my God. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Cops get there, they notice snow piled up on their little balcony with no footprints on there. So it's not like anyone scaled the building and broke into the apartment that way. When they hear about the door being locked from the inside, they really start to think that maybe Ellen took her own life. Cops talked to Ellen's neighbors, who said they didn't hear any kind of commotion coming from the apartment, only Sam banging on the door to get in. Cops also didn't see any defensive wounds on Ellen, like she had tried to protect herself from any kind of attack. The knife in Ellen's chest was tested, and it showed no one else's DNA except for Ellen's on it. When cops heard about Ellen's mental history, that was when they decided she definitely took her own life. You see, Ellen was normally
Just a ray of sunshine. She loved life, she loved people, and bringing people together.
About 2 or 3 months before she died, there seemed to be a change in Ellen's personality. She seemed more withdrawn and anxiety-ridden. She told her friends that she was anxious because of work and getting grades in on time and stuff like that.
Getting up and going to work every day, functioning but stressed.
Ellen was also calling her parents, telling them she wanted to quit her job and move in with them in Harrisburg.
She talked about coming home and leaving her job in Philadelphia as an elementary school teacher. We were very upset about that. I was upset about that because as a father, I didn't want her to walk away from a job that she could lose and not have to be on her record that she
So this is obviously really weird, since Ellen is already living with her fiance and they're supposed to get married in a few months. Ellen told her parents that this had nothing to do with Sam, and even though she wanted to move back in, she still planned on going through with the marriage. She said that the stress was just coming from her job at the school. Ellen's parents arranged for Ellen to see a psychiatrist, Dr. Ellen Berman. Ellen had 3 visits with this doctor, and she told the doctor the same thing she told everyone else. She was anxious over her job at school, and she also mentioned that planning a wedding was pretty stressful. Ellen told the doctor only positive things about her fiancé, Sam, and denied any physical or emotional abuse from him. The doctor's notes also noted that Ellen was...
Doctor's notes say not suicidal.
So the doctor diagnosed Ellen with an adjustment disorder and anxiety, and she prescribed her Klonopin for her anxiety and Ambien to help her sleep. On January 8th, Ellen texted her mom, "I'm starting the meds. I know you don't understand, but I can't keep living feeling this way." 9 days later, she texted her mom again. "Klonopin helped. Thank God," her mom said. "I'm so happy for you." Ellen replied, "Me too. Oh my God." Around that time, Ellen started telling her friends that the medicine was working and that she was feeling better. The day before Ellen died, her mom texted her and said, "You need to see a professional." Ellen replied, "Okay, I'm trying. Just scared a bit for everything." She made a 4th appointment with Dr. Berman, an appointment she would never keep. After all, this is when cops decide for sure that Ellen had taken her own life. The very next day, an autopsy was performed, and it showed that Ellen was stabbed 8 times in the chest. It also showed she was stabbed in her stomach and her scalp. It showed she was stabbed 10 times in her back and neck. There was also 11 bruises on Ellen, on her abdomen, her arm, and her leg. Some of the bruises were new and looked like they might have happened the night she died, but some of them had already healed and looked to be weeks old. There was also a wound to Ellen's neck where it looked like someone had choked her.
Autopsies were done. Injuries, wounds were found on her body in different stages of healing that could only have been done by an abusive person.
So the medical examiner ruled Ellen's death a homicide. That same day, Sam's uncle called the Venice Loft Apartments and asked the manager if he could go and get some of Sam's stuff from the apartment for the funeral. The apartment manager really didn't know what to do, so she called the cops. The cops said, sure, they can come in, it's not a crime scene. While she had them on the line, she said, "What do I do about all this blood that's in here?" So the police gave her the number of a crime scene cleanup, so the cleaning service came in and cleaned up the scene. Then Sam's uncle and cousin came by and took Ellen's 2 computers, her cell phone, her handbag, and her engagement ring. Ellen's funeral was held at the Beth El Temple in Harrisburg. During the funeral, Ellen's father told people that Ellen's death had been ruled a homicide. He even confronted Sam. He said, "You know you're the prime suspect now." This caused Sam...
He started crying. He was in one corner of the room, and he moved over to his mother, and she's comforting him, and he's carrying on.
That same day, cops had to start investigating Ellen's death as a homicide. As you know, everything was cleaned up by this time, so there really wasn't much to investigate. After hearing all the details about Ellen's anxiety, police told the media that despite what the medical examiner said, they were treating this death as though Ellen had taken her own life. One reporter said that in all of her years in journalism, she had never heard of the police publicly disagreeing with a medical examiner. Part of Ellen's spine was saved and it was sent to a neuropathologist for like an informal review. The neuropathologist said that the wounds in Ellen's back wouldn't have paralyzed her or anything, but they might have made it so that she was numb, and so she could keep stabbing herself over and over without feeling any pain. So a meeting was held between cops, the medical examiner, and prosecutors to change Ellen's cause of death from a homicide back to a suicide. There was no record of this meeting at all, and the new autopsy.
The wounds of yoga or Pilates. Ellen never took yoga or Pilates. How could he possibly say that?
Ellen's parents really didn't believe this, and over the next few months, Ellen's friends told them that Sam had become controlling of Ellen.
Over time, her friends told me that her relationship had changed with Sam. Ellen, do you want to go have Chinese food tomorrow night? Let me talk to Sam. Ellen, do you want to go out tomorrow and go to a basketball game? Let me talk to Sam. In other words, Sam was in control.
Since police wouldn't investigate Ellen's death, the Greenbergs started their own investigation. Dr. Cyril Wecht, who is a famous medical examiner who did autopsies on John F. Kennedy, Anna Nicole Smith, John Bennett Ramsey, and a lot of other famous people, weighed in. He said that suicide by multiple stab wounds is extremely rare, and that when people do that, they usually take off their clothes before they stab themselves, which didn't happen with Ellen. He said that it would have been really hard for Ellen to stab herself in the back, as this reenactment shows. It's possible, but it would have been really hard, and that most likely Ellen was murdered. The Greenbergs also hired civil rights attorney Larry Krasner, and in 2012, the attorney organized a meeting between the Greenbergs police and the district attorney to try to get the case reopened. The police wouldn't budge, and the meeting went nowhere. So the Greenbergs started to lose hope that they would ever get justice for Ellen. Then Tom Brennan, who is a retired police officer and chief who is really renowned in his field, agreed to be the Greenbergs' private investigator for free.
A retired detective who is working with the Greenbergs says the fact Ellen was stabbed 10 times in the back of the neck proves it wasn't a suicide.
I measured the arm length and the knife, and you can't get it back. You cannot get that back.
The PI discovered that before calling 911 that night, he called his parents and his uncle, James C. Schwartzman. James C. Schwartzman is a high-profile, politically connected lawyer in Philadelphia. Anyway, the PI discovered that Sam's parents and Uncle James were already on the scene when emergency medical services arrived. The fireman who pronounced Ellen dead told his lieutenant, "We better get back to the office. The police are going to want to interview us." That interview never happened. As emergency services left the building, the lieutenant told the front desk security guard, "You've got a murder up there." Sam Goldberg was led out of the building in handcuffs. As he passed front desk security, he yelled, "Tell them I didn't do this." He was brought to district headquarters where he gave a short statement about what happened. The PI also brought up that just because Ellen didn't have any defensive wounds didn't mean she hadn't been attacked.
Comes after you, comes up to you, and starts stabbing you, and stabs you from behind, and you can't defend yourself. And I think the police term for that is a blitz attack. That's what our consultant Tom Brennan told us the name of it was, and he's a former state trooper, well decorated, and in fact he's called the legend here.
He also brought up the fact that there are several videos on YouTube of how to unlock a door latch from the outside. So even if Ellen was in there with the door latched from the inside, doesn't mean she was in there alone. He also talked to the security guard who was working the apartment that night, and he said that he never went up to the apartment with Sam, like he claimed. He said that when Sam came down to talk to him, he had these big winter boots on, so that means he was going to the gym in winter boots, which doesn't make much sense. He also brought up the fact that Ellen was making fruit when she died, which really doesn't go with the theory that she took her own life. In 2015, a Philadelphia homicide prosecutor named Guy.
My name is Guy D'Andrea. I'm a former homicide prosecutor in Philadelphia, and I reviewed Ellen's case.
He brought up the fact that there was only a very small amount of blood around Ellen.
There is certainly what appears to be an absence of blood given the amount of stab wounds. Everyone bleeds differently, I will say that. I was taken aback for sure by the lack of blood.
Ellen was holding a white cloth in her hand, which was completely clean. So for such a violent incident, there should have been a lot more blood around her, unless of course there was a cleanup. Guy D'Andrea also tried to get a hold of the original pathology report that the medical examiner performed.
Wait a second, where's that report? So in other words, if someone does that type of autopsy or performs that type of procedure, there has to be a report. You said, where's the report? I need to evaluate it. I need to read it. There was no report, okay? Well, show me the logbook that shows that this neuropathologist, who's a per diem, in other words, she gets paid per hour for doing this particular work, show me the log that showed that she was even there to do the examination. There wasn't one, okay? Well, show me the canceled check. Show me anything. Show how this particular doctor was paid for this examination. There wasn't any evidence that ever happened.
In February of 2017, the Greenbergs filed a lawsuit requesting all the police files be turned over to them. The request was denied. The police did invite the Greenbergs to come in to look at the files, but they had to come in alone. They weren't allowed to take pictures or make any copies of anything, and they weren't even allowed to call anyone. So, to the Greenbergs and they're alone, reading these police reports, it was like reading a foreign language. It didn't make any sense to them. In May of 2019, the Attorney General closed Ellen's case for good, saying they had found searches for painless suicide, quick death, and depression on Ellen's personal computer. These searches stopped 3 weeks before Ellen died, and they weren't even in the original police report. Plus, we know that Sam's family took Ellen's computers the day after she died, so we don't even know that Ellen was the one who made these searches. Even if she did look up painless suicide and quick death, stabbing yourself 20 times. Doesn't seem very painless or quick to me. A closer look at these searches show that they led to evangelical Christian websites, preaching fire and brimstone to anyone who took their own life. Ellen was Jewish, so it doesn't make sense for her to look at websites like this. In 2019, the Greenbergs filed a lawsuit against the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office and Dr. Marlon Osborne, who was the pathologist who conducted the original autopsy. The lawsuit was trying to get the cause of death changed back to either homicide or undetermined, and a trial was set for 2021.
Ellen Greenberg's family and their attorney will make their case to a city judge to argue her death was a homicide and not a suicide. Matt Petrillo is in Center City right now. Matt, you have some of the evidence that will be presented tomorrow.
Yuki, that's right. You know, if you or I got cut by something, we bleed. It's just a part of being alive. But a medical examiner who reviewed part of Ellen Greenberg's body found something unusual. There was no bleeding or hemorrhaging after some of her stab wounds. 2020, you might remember the Greenberg family attorney showed Eyewitness News images he says forensically proved Ellen could not have stabbed herself 20 times.
Have you ever been deposed before?
Yes.
Now, this deposition of a city-hired medical expert reveals testimony that corroborates those images, according to the Greenberg's family attorney, Joe Pedraza.
In this neuropathologist's best determination, Ellen wasn't alive when she was stabbed.
The deposition is of neuropathologist Lindsay Emery. She was hired by Philadelphia to review Ellen Greenberg's spinal cord a few years ago. Watch as Emery reveals her findings for the first time to the Greenberg's attorney, Joe Pedraza.
What's significant here is that there's no hemorrhage.
And in your experience, no hemorrhage can equate to the person having been deceased at the time of the administration of the trauma.
Yeah, I mean, in general, no hemorrhage means no pulse.
People without pulses do not stab themselves repeatedly. So that by itself establishes suicide is absolutely impossible in this case.
The Greenbergs lost the lawsuit. In the judgment summary, The judges admitted that the investigation was flawed and that murder was possible, but because of a random law, the Greenbergs had no standing to file the lawsuit. Still, the Greenbergs have said they will never stop seeking justice for their daughter.
Just going to try to take care of myself because I want to live long enough to see this through.
Daddy's still here and fighting for you.
We love you forever and always.
The Greenbergs kept in contact with Ellen's fiance, Sam, for about a year after she died. And they really liked Sam. And Ellen's mom, Sandy, said that she would say to him, "I know my daughter didn't commit suicide." And there was this long, awkward pause from him every time. Sam's last contact with the Greenbergs was to tell them that he was moving on. Sam now lives in New York with his new wife and 2 children. Does his new wife sleep with one eye open? Ellen's family has a Facebook page, and there's also a change.org petition for Ellen's case to be reopened. So I will link both of those in the description box. I hope you'll sign the petition. I definitely did. Personally, I definitely think she was murdered. It just seems like common sense to me, but I do know that plenty of people do think that she actually did take her own life. So let me know what you think happened to Ellen in the comments. I'm really curious, but yeah, thanks so much for watching, and as always, I will see you very soon. Bye.
In the darkness, where secrets hide, there's a corner where the truth resides. Gather round, all you seekers of the night. Welcome to Patrick's Dark Corner, where things come to light. Patrick's Dark Corner,